What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to the Bianconeri zone. And is Tudor's job on the line? Unfair or not fair, we're going to talk about. But the stretch of games we're heading into, I think we can say it could be on the line realistically. Is that fair? Not really, or maybe, but I don't think he's the only one we can blame in this situation. I will explain why. And as you can see on the thumbnail, the stretch of games is insane, especially the 3 away games after the international break. It's brutal. It's actually brutal. But you know, it is what it is. That's the game we are playing, and he's gonna need to accept that. Then there is an update on Conceição and Gati as well, which I want to talk about. But before we get into it, smash the like button, subscribe to the channel, and also tune in later tonight for a live show. But as you can see on the thumbnail, and the question is his job on the line? And if we need to be realistic, it could be. You know, we haven't lost a game this season, but if I need to ask anyone in the chat right now, and let me know in the comments immediately, type it in already. Do you have a feeling that a loss is just waiting around the corner? Because I have that feeling. I'm just waiting for that first loss and then it to escalate, you know. That's how I'm looking at this team right now. It looks very beatable, but for some reason we haven't been beaten right now, you know. That's the odd thing, you know. But Villarreal away, Milan away before the international break. Tough games. Milan are a better team than us. They are, you know. They look a better team. Right now, on the pitch, they look like a better unit, you know, whatever you want to describe it. Villarreal away from home, the same. It will be two tough games, and you do not want to go into an international break with two bad results, then come back away to Como, away to Real Madrid, away to Lazio. That is madness. Like these, did I say 7 game stretch? These 5 games that are coming up could be a determinant factor for Tudor in terms of, are you going to turn it around in terms of on the pitch, the way you approach games, the way you're going to play things. But he's very stubborn. He made it very clear he's not open to start changing things around. He has his beliefs and he's going to stick with his beliefs. And I'm all for that. You know, you have your belief, you want to do this, that, or you don't want to move away from this, and that. Fine. But if it's not working, well, you need to be realistic and be like, okay, this ain't it. We need to do something better. And he's not doing that right now. For example, the striker talk is still up in the air. It's we have three strikers, but only play one. That is bad squad management, a bad transfer window, or you have 3 bad strikers and you don't know what to do. Whatever you want to say it is, you let me know in the comments. But that is the kind of the point right now. That's what we should be talking about, you know, because the moment we signed Openda, I made my statement very clear, and this was not a knock on. Like, I'm not a big Openda fan, but I was never saying, "Oh man, he's a total scrub." I don't think he fits what we want to do, especially if you play with one in this league. I don't see it. Colomani was a perfect fit because he can press, he can hold up the play, he can create for his own, he can play, he can drift to the wide, he can do all these things. You know, you can use him in a variety of ways. Right now, Openda, David, and Vlahovic, you can use them in one way, up top. That's it, you know. But you have 3 players for one position, and right now we cannot find the right player in that position, which is insane because they're all 3 strikers. That's that. And then also the part of we do not create. You know, we're heavily relying on individual brilliance, a moment, somebody finally beating his man, whipping in a cross, but we don't outplay teams. Thuram, for example, is injured. You know, like the reports are out there. He has to come out. He's struggling with his fitness. I don't know if it's a knock. It is a knock, by the way, but I don't know in which capacity it is. But he has a physical issue, and yes, players have issues, but he's really struggling, and we are struggling because of it. We don't have any subs. Koopmeiners, I thought he had a decent game against Atalanta as well, but I mean, you cannot like the Koopmeiners from against Villarreal, for example, could be another disaster Koopmeiners. Then what? You know, so it's not all his fault that things are not going his way, but right now he's being very stubborn. Kalulu playing right wing back every single week, 65 minutes. Not a knock on Kalulu, but you know, a player of his profile in that position, I don't see how that, seems how that needs to work. Like I cannot really grasp the idea behind Kalulu there for that long during a game. So you can blame players for making mistakes, but right now I'm looking at Tudor and I'm like, you're making certain decisions that are going to completely break you if for some reason you do not turn it around. If for some reason it doesn't start clicking, and right now I have a feeling it's far off from start clicking. So that's a stretch of games. It's really on the board. Other update on Gatti. I don't want to be that guy again to talk about Gatti, but I see the Tuttosport articles from their director, Guido, saying, um, Gatti doesn't look like the same player ever since he came back from that injury. And I'm like, stop the crap, because now you're sending out an excuse into the world. Oh, it's because of the injury. That's why he's struggling. No, he's never been good. Like, he's never been good. I don't, like, the story shouldn't be that. I'm not saying go out and report and say, oh my God, he's crap. I'm not even saying that. But stop making excuses. He looks the same pre or post injury. This is Gatti. I have no idea what people have been seeing previous and now, and they're like, oh yeah, it's the injury. It's the same thing. Silly mistakes, silly fouls, stupid yellow cards, not reading the game, too late, very few, excuse me, a lot of times too late to react. Even when that Atsic messed up, too late to react, too easy to be played. Like, I mean, come on, that has nothing to do with injury. That's who he is. He's just not a good defender. And the more you play and the more you struggle, the more he's gonna, you're gonna see how much he lacks to just be at a high level, to be that guy. He's not that guy. So I didn't like that report because now you're making up an excuse, which is not fair, even towards Gatti. That's who he is. Now you're telling Gatti, oh, you're not fit or something. He's just who he is, and he's not good. That's that. So I hope that discussion is ended. I have no idea why we signed him to a new deal. I have no idea why he's still at the club, as many players, by the way. But he is still at the club, so it is what it is. I hope at the summer it's done and you finally cash in. But then again, who the hell is going to come in again? Napoli were interested, all these teams were interested, and we said no. And to be honest, I have no idea why. And then towards Villarreal, Conceição will be back. Which is a good thing, I guess, because Segrova is not 100% fit. So I think that's okay. You need Conceição back, especially if you play the way you play. Like, Tudor is not going to change. I'm looking at it and I'm like, okay, just make Openda Yıldız's buddy, basically, right now, because that's who we are. Vlahovic and Jonathan David up top, Segrova and Conceição. If there is an injury with Conceição and Segrova is not fit enough right now, then for the love of God, play two players up top. Play Openda and David, or Vlahovic and David, or Vlahovic and Openda, I don't care, and Yıldız behind it. Stop doing weird stuff. That's all I'm trying to say right now. But it's up to Tudor. Right now, the stretch of games, he is really up against it because it's tough. It's Villarreal away, it's Milan, it's one home game in the next 5, excuse me. And then you come, that's the international break. And if you don't go into the international break with a good feel factor, you come back and it's Como away, extremely difficult for any team. It will be difficult this season. It was already difficult for a lot of teams last season and they improved. Then it's Real Madrid away, and then it's Lazio away. Like, realistically, like, let's be completely honest, I'm not going to predict it, but if we don't win any of our next 5 games, would anyone be shocked? That is my question to you guys. Would anyone be shocked if we don't win any of our next 5 games? Villarreal, Milan, Como, Real Madrid, Lazio. Let me know in the comments. Like, subscribe, and I'll speak to you guys later tonight. Ciao.